You know the story we're always told, that the secret to success is just to hustle, to grind, to outwork everybody. But what if that whole narrative isn't just missing a piece? What if it's actually the very thing holding you back? Today, we're going to talk about a completely different story. So let's just start with this pretty provocative idea. Most of what we call hustle is really just noise. Now, that's not a pass to just, sit back and do nothing. Of course not. It's a call to work smarter. Because as we're about to see, just working hard, well, that's almost never the answer. And this leads us right into our first big idea, what we can call the effort trap. I think you'll know this feeling. It's when you're being disciplined, you're showing up every single day, you're pushing, but your progress feels just painfully slow, and the results are nowhere near what you'd expect. Now, when you're in that trap, your first instinct is to ask, how can I work even harder? But what if that's the wrong question? The real question, the better question is this. Is the system I'm in, the job, the project, whatever, is it even capable of giving me the result I want? Just thinking about that can change everything. Okay, so think about it like this. Your effort can really only go into one of two places. On one side, you've got a growth system. Here, every extra hour you put in actually builds on itself. It compounds. But on the other side, you've got a maintenance system. Here, you're just keeping the lights on. Your effort basically resets to zero every single day.
So here's the crucial point. If you feel stuck, if you feel like you're spinning your wheels, the problem probably isn't you. It's the invisible ceiling of the system you're in. It's a structure that was just never designed to multiply your hard work. It was designed to absorb it.
So how in the world do you break through that ceiling? Well, the answer lies in one of the most powerful concepts there is. You've got to find your leverage. Leverage, this is the secret ingredient. It's the magic principle where one single action can create dozens of results. It's when you do something today and it keeps working for you tomorrow and the next day and the day after that, long after you've moved on. And you can see the difference right here. Linear work is a simple trade, right? 1 hour in gets you 1 hour of results. That's just maintenance. But leveraged work, that's where 1 hour of your time creates many hours of results. That, my friends, is real growth. Okay, so how do you actually get this leverage? Well, it usually comes from a few key places. Things like having ownership over an asset, or building a distribution channel, or tapping into powerful networks, or using scalable platforms. These are structures that are built to multiply effort, not just consume it. And this, right here, just nails the difference. See, hard work without leverage makes you dependable. You're a really reliable cog in a machine. But that same hard work, plugged into a system that gives you leverage, that makes you powerful. The effort is the same. The structure changes the entire outcome. All right, so to find this leverage, you're going to need a ton of focus. And that brings us to a really counterintuitive idea, achieving success by subtraction. It's not about adding more stuff to your plate. It's actually about taking things off. We're always told to stack more habits, more projects, more goals. The problem is that just spreads your attention so thin that nothing ever gets enough energy to actually take roots. The real path, it's about cutting away everything that divides your focus, so the one thing that truly matters can finally grow. So this is the question you have to ask yourself right now. Just look at your week. What is stealing your energy? What projects, what meetings, what habits are just draining the battery that should be powering the one thing that could actually create real leverage for you? Because here's the secret about focus. Concentration isn't some skill that you just gain. It's a state that you create. And you create it by ruthlessly removing the alternatives. It's about saying no to all the good ideas so you have the space to say yes to the one great one. So when you combine a system that has leverage with the intense focus that you get from subtraction, that's when you enter the final and most powerful stage of all, the momentum phase. People often mistake momentum for just going really fast, but that's not it. It's about continuity. It is that quiet, unstoppable force that starts to build when all of your energy stays pointed in one single direction long enough for the results to start stacking up. This quote just perfectly captures what it's like when there's no momentum. Time passing doesn't mean you're making progress. If you're constantly changing direction, you're not getting 5 years of experience. You're just living the same year over and over again. You never build any real depth. And this is exactly why success so often looks like it happened overnight. People on the outside, they never saw the years of quiet, focused work. They only see the result, the tipping point, the moment when all that accumulated energy finally becomes visible to the rest of the world. So what looks like luck from the outside is actually more like a formula. It's really the convergence of these three conditions. First, you're in the right kind of system, one that actually multiplies your effort. Second, you've cut out enough noise to stay focused. And third, you've just stayed at it long enough for that momentum to really build.
And that brings us to the final and maybe most powerful idea of all. The question you should be asking yourself isn't, how can I work harder? The much, much better question is, where should my work live? Because finding the right environment for your effort, a place where it can actually grow and compound, that's the real secret to success that nobody ever tells you.